Hey everyone, ready to dive in? Today we're tackling Survey Enumerators, a job that's, well, let's just say more interesting than it might sound at first. And we've got RoleCatcher's Career Guide, plus some extra goodies from their job platform to help us out.
Yeah, they've got some really cool stuff on how this whole thing's evolving, especially with AI getting involved in things like resume analysis and interview prep.
Seriously,
hmm
forget the image of someone with a clipboard and a frown. We're talking about the data that drives, like, everything. Government policies, what you see in stores, you name it.
Absolutely. I mean, think about something like, say, how cities plan their bus routes. Survey enumerators could be out there, talking to riders, figuring out where the demand is.
Such a good example.
hmm
And the guy does a really great job of showing how data collection goes way beyond just those street surveys. Phone interviews, online platforms, it's all about connecting with people, getting those insights.
And that's where those top-notch communication skills become key, right? Whether you're on the phone or face-to-face, you've got to make people feel comfortable sharing what they really think.
Totally. It's like each person you talk to is another piece of a giant puzzle.
And a puzzle with real consequences. Imagine you're working on a survey for, like, a new product launch. The data you collect could literally make or break the whole thing.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
But it really does show why being accurate, paying attention to detail, it's crucial in this line of work.
And that comes up constantly in RoleCatcher's platform, especially their interview prep section. They throw these scenarios at you, like what do you do when someone's giving you obviously fake answers or they get kind of hostile about the questions?
Oh man, those real world situations. It can't always be easy to stay neutral and objective, especially with touchy subjects or when people have strong opinions.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher really hits on that ethical data collection. They've even got practice scenarios specifically for navigating those trickier situations, like how do you stay professional when?
It's like they've got an answer for everything.
Mm,
And speaking of going above and beyond, their AI interview practice tool seems wild.
it's pretty amazing, yeah. You actually record yourself answering typical interview questions, and the AI analyzes it all, like your tone of voice, your body language, even how clearly you're getting your points across.
It's like having a personal coach in your back pocket. So, yeah, if you're serious about acing that interview, Rollcatcher seems like it's got your back.
Definitely. But even beyond just getting the job, I think it's good to step back a second and think bigger picture.
What do you mean?
Well, we've talked skills, challenges, interview stuff, but this job, at its heart, it's about more than just asking questions, right? It's about gathering the information that shapes how we understand the world.
Wow, yeah, that's a powerful way to look at it. Every data point, every answer someone gives, it all builds into this bigger story.
Totally. And that story has real life impact, policy decisions, new products, even how we see ourselves and other people.
It's easy to forget that when you're just quickly answering a survey on your phone or someone stops you on the street for a minute.
Right. And that's why understanding what a survey enumerator does, it's so important. It's not just about the job itself, but appreciating how vital data literacy is in this day and age.
So what does that mean for us, just going about our lives?
It means when we take part in surveys, when we share our thoughts and experiences, being honest, being thoughtful, it all makes a difference.
It's like being aware of the impact our answers can have.
Exactly. Because those answers, they become part of this huge data set that researchers, people making policies, businesses, they all use that to make choices that affect all of us.
So next time you see one of those survey requests or someone comes up with a clipboard, maybe you'll see it a little differently.
Maybe you'll see it as a chance to be part of something bigger, to help shape the story of our world.
That's a powerful thought. And it makes me think about something we haven't really touched on yet, the kind of person who thrives in this job.
Because it's not just about checking off skill boxes, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be a good fit for your personality.
And that's where things get really interesting. Because according to RoleCatcher's Guide, so it's not just about having the right skills, it's about having the right mindset. Tell me more about what RoleCatcher has to say about that.
Well, they really highlight things like empathy and curiosity. Like those are key. You're talking to all sorts of people, right? From all walks of life. And being able to connect with them, really understand where they're coming from, that's huge.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you're not just collecting data, you're collecting, like, human experiences.
Exactly. And that takes a certain sensitivity, a genuine interest in what people are saying.
It's almost like being a journalist in a way, right? You're gathering information, but you also want to build that trust so people feel heard.
That's a really good comparison.
Yeah.
And just like a good journalist, A good survey enumerator has to be objective, unbiased.
Because ultimately, the data has to reflect what people are actually saying, not the enumerator's own opinions, right?
Exactly. And that can be tough, especially with topics that people have strong feelings about.
It must take a certain type of person to handle that well. To stay neutral, but still be empathetic, still be engaging.
It really does. And honestly, I think that's part of what makes the job so interesting. It's this mix of like technical skills, people skills, and then this deeper understanding of how powerful information can be.
It's like this whole hidden world where you get to connect with people, gather these insights that can really shape decisions, and just contribute to a better understanding of, well, us,
Yeah.
who we are, what matters to us.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So anyone listening who's intrigued, I definitely recommend checking out what RoleCatcher has.
They've really done a great job of like pulling back the curtain on this whole profession that most people don't even think twice about.
I know, right? And who knows, maybe this deep dive will inspire a few future survey enumerators out there.
Or at least maybe a new appreciation for the data itself and the people who put in the work to collect it.
Absolutely. Because in a world that seems to run on information more and more every day, understanding where that information comes from, who's gathering it, that's more crucial than ever.
And on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of survey enumerators.
It's been great exploring all this with you.
Likewise. And to our listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep diving deep. So it's not just about having the right skills, it's about having the right mindset. Tell me more about what RoleCatcher has to say about that.
Well, they highlight qualities like empathy and curiosity as super important.
Oh, okay.
You're interacting with people from all walks of life, and your ability to connect with them
Right.
and understand their perspectives, that's huge.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not just collecting data points, you're collecting like human experiences.
Exactly. And that requires a certain level of sensitivity, a genuine interest in what people have to say.
It's like being a journalist in a way. You're gathering information, but you're also building trust, making people feel heard.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
And just like a journalist, a good survey enumerator needs to be objective,
Right.
unbiased.
Because the data they collect needs to be a true reflection of people's experiences, not their own personal opinions.
Right. And that can be challenging, especially when you're dealing with emotionally charged topics.
It takes a special kind of person to navigate those waters, to remain neutral while still being empathetic and engaging.
It really does. And I think that's what makes this job so fascinating. It's a blend of technical skills, interpersonal skills, and a deep understanding of the power of information.
It's like this hidden world where you get to connect with people, gather insights that shape decisions, and contribute to a larger understanding of who we are and what we care about.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So for anyone listening who's feeling that spark of curiosity, I highly recommend checking out RoleCatcher's resources.
Yeah, they've really pulled back the curtain on this often overlooked profession.
They have. And who knows, maybe this deep dive has inspired a future survey enumerator or two out there.
Maybe it sparked a new appreciation for the power of data and the people who work tirelessly to collect it.
Absolutely. Because in a world that's increasingly driven by information, understanding where that information comes from and the people who gather it, that's more important than ever.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of survey enumerators.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Likewise. And to our listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.